everybody, it's Debbie again. Welcome to our next part of holiday fall decorating. And the last thing we did was do our beautiful outdoor table centerpiece. Now I'm going to do an arrangement around the outside of my sliding glass door. I always like to use pumpkins around my doors because I think it's very welcoming, and even in the backyard going into the house it's a welcome type of event to have. Now the one thing that happens in the fall is that our flowers start to wane. So I always have many flowers on my patio, but this time of year I start having to get rid of some of them because it is going into fall and all my summer flowers are waning. So you can see in front of my sliding glass door places that I used to have flowers are kind of barren right now. So that's where my pumpkins are going to go. So let me show you which ones I'm going to use first, and off we go to decorate the doorway. The first one I think I'm going to use, and there's Maggie, hi Mags, is the big neck pumpkin. Now remember what I said about using your biggest piece to start off with, because this does anchor it, and this works even if you're doing something that doesn't have a centerpiece on it. So I'm going to use this big neck pumpkin. Isn't it beautiful? This was probably the one that grew the best out in my pumpkin patch. I think it looks like a swan, but it is called a neck pumpkin, obviously because of the fat neck and the pumpkin bottom. So I'm going to put this over in the corner. In fact, this is an area where my dogs had a really good time chewing on the board, so it's a good way to hide some of those things that you may not want people to see. So I'm going to start off placing this big neck pumpkin right against, let's see, I think I'll do it more like this, so it has this place to stand. You have to be careful too, because people need to get in and out of the door. I know my husband always gets mad because I put things in the way, so hopefully this won't be, or I'll have to move it. But we're going to start with this one, and then I'm also going to do the same thing on the other side, except I'm going to use this big blue Hubbard. Now I'm going to roll this blue Hubbard over there because it's really heavy, and I have a bad back, and I don't want to get in trouble lifting pumpkins, because that's what I tend to do. So this is the blue Hubbard. I'm going to roll it over here, and then I'm going to set it up against my plant here. Now another thing nice in the fall, when you start cutting back your plants, again, that can fill in where the greenery used to be. So that's why I like to put pumpkins up there. So now it's time to fill in with the smaller but yet variety that I've got out here. I may not use all of these, but let's just see which ones I want to use next. I think I'll start next with the cheese pumpkin. Remember how I mentioned when we did our pumpkin field picking how the cheese pumpkin, the reason it's called that is because it looks like a block of cheese. And remember too that I leave some of the stems long and gnarly, because I think it adds a lot of character to it. And I'm going to put this guy over here by the blue Hubbard squash, and I'm just going to lean it up like that. So let's now move on again to the other side. I like to go back and forth, and then I'm going to take a look at them and make sure everything is balanced. So let me find something I want to put over here. And I think I'm going to use next my Lumina. This is my white pumpkin. The reason it's called Lumina is because it looks like, kind of like the moon, because it's more white in color. And I'm actually going to set that right here. I think I'll move my little sundial out of the way and put that right there. Okay, onward and upward. Now I want to put a little more orange color into it, so I'm going to take one of the sunshine squash, which I have a couple of them, and I love this vibrant orange color. It really adds a lot to the variety that we're using here. And I'm going to set him right there. You see how we're creating just a nice environment to blend again everything in, so everything really is going to work well together. Okay, let's go on to the other side. I think over here I'm going to take the big my speckled gourd, and you see how I've even left one of the leaves on that? We just picked this one today, and I'm going to leave this on because even as it dries, it's going to look cool, because again, it's going to get that kind of gnarly look, especially it's good for around Halloween time. And I'm actually going to set that back behind here. Okay, looks cool, already looking great. Then we're going to move back over to this area. I think now, and I haven't used a neck pumpkin over here yet, and I'm going to, but not quite yet. I think what I'm going to do now is take one of my jack-o'-lanterns. I didn't get very many of these because I didn't even plant jack-o'-lanterns. I think in my first video I talked about we had the rogue pumpkin out there, so who knows how the heck it grew, but it grew without me even planting it, so I kind of like that. And I'm going to put this guy, I'm going to actually set it more under the pot. Okay, now to bring some of that blue color over here, I'm going to take my Jarradale, which is that pretty blue pumpkin. I have some bigger ones that I have in the house, but this littler one, it'll be nice out here. And I'm going to set that just on the other side of my neck pumpkin, just like that. Okay? All right, now before I even put another one over here, I want to add a little more orange to this corner, because if I don't, it won't look as balanced. And again, we want to make sure that we have a sense of balance. It doesn't have to be, again, matchy-matchy. You want it all to blend, but you need to make sure you've got that balance of color when you're doing this. And I'm going to go ahead and set that right there. And then that way that can lean on it a little bit more. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, now I do want to use my neck pumpkin over here. So I think what I'm going to do is move it, and oh gosh, these guys are heavy. And I'm going to set it more like that. Kind of a different way to put it down, but again, it gives a nice feel to it. And obviously this area's got a little bit more to work with than this does, but that's okay. And another thing I want to do over here, and I think this might look kind of cool to cover up the hole that's in the plant. I think I'm going to take one of my little Blue Hubbards. No. Little Blue Hubbards.
Blue Magic.
Blue Magic? Yeah, Blue Magic. And I'm actually going to set it in my plant. So that way, as it still grows a little bit and the plant dies back, it'll look like something's supposed to be in there. Okay, what else do we need over here? Let's bring in some of the dark green color. Let's take some of my little buttercup squashes. And I'm going to put one of them, I think, just right here. Try to turn it too so the side, you can always tell what pumpkin the side it was either laying on. And I always try with my pumpkins as they're growing to set them upright as they're growing, because you'll find most pumpkin patches, they don't do that. So you want to make sure that if it has kind of the icky side that you turn it away. Put that one right there. And then to do the same thing over there. I'll just set him right on that guy. Okay, we're getting there. Now I want to take these little guys and use these as a little bit of filler. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get those in there, because we certainly want to have our little guys in the picture. And then how about if we take our funky gourds that we've used on and off, and just use them again as a filler. Oh, that looks cool. And I'll put one over here too. Maybe right like there. Yep, I think I'll put it right there. Okay, onward and upward. I want to make sure we get all of these in. Didn't know if I was going to use them all or not, but I think I certainly will. I'm going to put one of these guys up here. And, I think I'll put this one over here. I really like this. It's kind of a little mini, either a little mini Blue Magic or a Blue Hubbard. And last but not least, let's just use the rest of these little guys. It's almost like when you're doing flower arrangement. You want to have all those little extra touches in, and these are a great way to add them in. So I think I'll put that into that little corner there. Maybe put another one right there, and finish off with this guy. Now last but not least, when you're doing a pretty arrangement like this, I like to have a rug that really works with that. So I'm going to just use quickly this little rug that has the pretty fall colors in it and put it right there. So it all looks perfect together. So here we go, your beautiful entryway coming out of off the patio in the backyard. A wonderful way to decorate for fall. See you next time.